Happy Friday, everyone. Yes, we made it. Yes, I just want to say thank you for your guys' flexibility with me. Yeah, I'm not on Wednesday. I was having one of those days. I'm not sure if you guys experienced this, but I just felt progressively worse and worse as the day went on. In the morning, I felt completely fine, but then once I got to the evening, yeah, that's when I started. My allergies were really acting up. I started feeling super lethargic. Yeah, so that explains why I wasn't here yesterday. I think I just needed to take a breather, and it turns out honey is really effective for allergies. Yes. Honey, yes.
Oh.
Wild local honey from Northern California. Yes.
My honey.
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're on camera.
Well, are we talking about the same honey? Okay. At any rate,
Yours is exclusive honey, okay?
yours.
Why are you laughing? Yeah.
At any rate, today we're going to finish up the section on ethics. It's going to be a lot of review for today, just going over again the things that we find in the ethics codes. And I think for the last two sessions we have, I'm thinking of making it mostly review. One of the last items in the curriculum is, what are the next steps to becoming an RBT? And I think we can kind of boil that down into 1 or 2 slides. So I think it'll be a good opportunity for us to, kind of review the more important things that we've covered throughout these past couple of months in doing this training. Again, I thank you guys so much for your patience in all of this. So how about we get right into it? This is everything that we're covering today. And then here's a way that's easier to break down. Again, we mentioned some of this when we were going over the RBT ethics code, but we're gonna discuss the scope of practice, what is within the scope for RBTs, what falls out of it. Some of these, again, same ideas: maintain dignity, being objective, etc., and advocating not just for clients but for your own supervision and support. But as Willie pointed out last time, I left something out from the cheat sheet I gave you.
Yeah.
Definition for applied behavior analysis. Now, we did go over it, but that was, I want to say, gosh, 2 months ago by now. Yeah, this is, I think, the best working definition for ABA. So whenever you hear me guys saying ABA or behavior analysis, this is what I'm referring to. ABA is the scientific study of applying behavioral principles in a way to bring about significant behavior change. Now, if you look up ABA just online, you'll find that, it's specifically for young children with autism. But as we saw with the self-monitoring material, ABA is for everybody. We all engage in certain types of behaviors. We all have the things that motivate us. And just as the principles and rules of behavior apply to not just young children with autism, but our clients, they also apply to us. So we have to be mindful of how these techniques and strategies can influence us for the best, for the better. And to stray away from the dark history that has plagued serving those with disabilities has come with, we need to really emphasize that ABA is not about controlling people or coercing them. No, it's about empowering them. We're teaching them to be more independent, more autonomous, for them to have those opportunities to, chase after what means most to them. So whether it be functional communication skills, vocational, socialization, pretty much every single big domain that you guys see in the ISPs, it's there. Okay. I think we're all now on the same page when it comes to ABA. So moving forward, now you guys have a good idea as to what I mean by it. Now let's get to the curriculum. So when it comes to the role of the RBT, very somewhat touched on this in relation to a BCBA. But when we look at an RBT, yeah, primary implementer of the goals or the behavior plan that we have for all the clients. So of course it kind of falls a lot on you guys. So yeah, being able to not just run the ISP goals, but the VIP and the behavior support plan goals as well. Since you spend the most time with the clients, you guys get that insight that can shape the decisions we make moving forward as we review all of the client's progress, whether that be when there's a major event or if there's a semi-annual or annual IBP meeting. Important thing to stress, yeah, RBTs cannot practice on their own. You cannot just find some freelance RBTs. Because, in order to practice as an RBT, you need supervision to be able to deliver that intervention. And we're going to take a look at, in just a second, where the bounds for RBT practice is. I have a video, maybe we'll get to it, I don't know. Okay, scope of practice. So this is the things that are more tied to your responsibilities, the things that are within your level of competency that you are able to perform and do consistently, again, under supervision. And there are things that fall outside of it, just like with every single profession. There is no single job that has you do everything all at once. So I do have it listed out there on the handouts as a list, but here I want to place it as a table just so that we can kind of compare what exactly is within scope of practice for an RBT and what falls out of it. So what can an RBT do in practice? Well, their first main responsibility is implementing the behavioral treatment plan. So all of the skills associated again with the ISP and the BIP, yeah, completely within the scope of practice because that's kind of the main responsibility. Outside of it, within the designing or changing or altering the goals in place, those that haven't been established in any of the plans, again, whether or not that be the ISP or the VIP. Collecting data, yep, something you guys do every single day. Certainly no problem within the scope of practice. But then later on and going, now, it is good to point out and acknowledge trends, but kind of just doing that all on your own, that is going to fall outside of the scope of practice.
Excuse me.
Yes.
If you say out of RBT scope, then who will do the signing?
Either BCBA, behavior consultant,
Okay, BCBA.
Yes.
And the other one is BCBA and BCABA.
Okay. Or behavior consultant, whichever, okay. Interchangeable, yes. Or just largely speaking, the planning team.
Okay,
yeah.
Clear.
Okay. Reporting, yes, absolutely. We've discussed how to report ad nauseum, about how to do so objectively, and we're going to do that a little bit later. But then going on as to conducting the functional assessments, again, when we talked about all the various assessments, whether it be preference, skills, or functional, it only was to the extent that you could assist in them, but not necessarily just do it all on your own. And of course, reviewing past data, past notes, completely fine. That is something that I love to do too. Something I did all the time when I was in RBT. And then, yeah, introducing unauthorized reinforcers. As we'll see with some of the case scenarios a little bit later, you can see how problematic they can be if they're not done properly. So that is comparison of what's inside the RBT scope of practice and what falls outside of it. Yeah, good question. It's outside, who does it? So now we got those established, let's take a look at some ethical case scenarios. Okay. He's a 55-year-old client. He's doing a sorting task. They give him blue items. His minor SIB so decreases significantly. Isn't that the RBT decides to change his target program to only use the blue items and update his data sheets.
Oh.
Why was this outside of the RBT scope of practice?
Case number 1. Wait a minute, I will.
It's not the RBT's job to change the.
Yes,
Yeah.
because the RBT could not change any design. He cannot make any design of plumbing. It should be
Yes.
done by BCBA
Uh-huh.
and BCA.
Yes, there you go. That's exactly right. Yeah, you can just put down, made an unauthorized change
Yes.
to the plan. Very good. Yes. And you just put down
Unauthorized
unauthorized.
modification.
Yeah, unauthorized change to the plan. Because if it was implemented to be ran in such a way, then you kind of have to stick with it unless there is a good reason to change it. Yes, you guys see stuff jot down. Again, unauthorized change or modification, alteration, whatever helps you remember it. Okay, so with that being said, what could the RBT have done differently?
Just continue to document over a period of time
Makes reporting.
and let the GCBA know,
Okay,
your supervisor.
Reporting.
yeah. So I'm hearing letting the BCBA supervisor know,
Collect the data and report.
collect the data.
And report.
Anybody else have anything different? That sound about good and okay, sufficient? Let's see. Yeah, communicating, very good. Yes. So what they can do, yes, maintain the current plan, because that's what was established and written. And then, as you guys were saying, collect the data, but then also make that note and present it to the supervisor. Oh, I've noticed when running the school that I think Arthur has been having a lot less SIB when we introduced the blue items. Can we please look into this? Because it seems to be having a major impact in his behavior. I can see that as being an incredibly reasonable, very prudent decision. Yeah, so here you guys can simply just write down, maintain current plan, and then sending a note or talking to the supervisor about what you've observed. Okay. How about we try another one? I'll see some scribbling. I'll let you guys take care of that. Yeah, again, the most important thing to recognize is maintain the current plan. Then, provide the detailed notes with your observations. That'll certainly help being able to change or modify the plan with the correct parameters in place. Let's take a look at another example. Mark is a 28-year-old client with autism, and he recently started throwing vocational materials across the room. This behavior is completely new, so there isn't a BIP to address it just yet. So then we have Elena, who is an experienced RBT, who has worked at this particular day program for 4 years and has noticed this pattern. Because the BCBA is always split between multiple facilities and only visits once a week, Elena took the initiative on herself to save time. So what does she do? She prints out some ABC sheets and starts performing a descriptive assessment. So this is her collecting the ABC data herself, and then interviewing people and essentially running the functional assessment all on her own. So then she notices, oh, hey, Mark begins throwing the items as a form to escape tasks, specifically tasks that involve fine motor skills. Oh boy, I think we found our ticket. So then she changes Mark's daily schedule to remove all the fine motor vocational tasks before letting the supervisor know.
That's like a preventive then.
Yes, so why was this outside the RBT scope of practice? A lot happened in there.
She's trying
Actually,
to create a
the
framework.
RBT should not make any plan without the consent of the BCBA.
Yes. Anything else that you noticed that she did?
But is it not possible then to make like an assessment and then before reporting to the BCBA? Because as you mentioned, BCBA will not be around within a week.
Yes.
So that RBT can do something.
Yeah, yes, they most certainly can, especially with the experienced one. What they cannot do is perform the entire assessment on their own. No, collecting, and I'm
Collecting the
sure,
data, yes.
yeah, all you guys have collected ABC data. So it's something that we've worked on extensively. So it's something that's well within your scope of practice. But then going on and then doing all the interviews and then the descriptive assessment, that is outside her scope of practice. So the issue is not that she took initiative to do some of these things on her own. The issue is that she did the entire process without the BCBA supporting her.
Right, because here it says she changes Mark's daily
Yes,
schedule.
and that too.
That's
yes.
the key thing. She changes her.
So he will not change the BIP.
Yeah, so she essentially changed some of it because as we read here, she removed all the fine motor skills. But hold on, what if Mark really needs these?
Yeah, it could have went.
Yeah, before consulting the small budget. So this is possible then. It's a possible action by the RBT.
No, it is
No.
not. I would say up until here, this is okay. This is fine. Taking ABC data, maybe doing a little bit of interviews if they have assisted in it. Perfectly fine.
So the what is not good is the change.
Yeah, the
daily
changes.
schedule.
Yes.
Remove all this. All right.
Yeah, because again,
What if it went haywire and things went even worse?
yes,
Because
exactly.
the BCBA is the one who's like, qualified really and authorized to create these kind of things. The RBT enforces it.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
And
Even
what
if
if
it was a good thing, I'm just saying, right? The RBT is not supposed to do this, and even if it went okay, what if it went bad?
yeah,
And worse
there's
for
always
Mark.
that possibility. Yeah, and again, it comes back to the idea that what if Mark really needs these skills? What if he really needs to work on fine motor? And when he's at the program, that's his only opportunity to practice them. Then all of a sudden, there's that huge steep in his development. And we know of other strategies that can help when it comes to escape maintained behaviors. Demand fading, first then contingency, using much more positive reinforcement, all these things could be introduced instead of just cutting it all off. So yeah, the address is RBTs may assist and participate in the assessment procedure, but under the supervision and guidance of BCBA. Okay, we kind of touched on this. What could the RBT have done differently? So let me ask you guys this. Should they have changed the plan to begin with?
No,
Okay, so that could have been one thing.
continue to monitor and document.
Thing monitor.
Continue to monitor.
Yeah, because what if Mark was just having a bad day?
Oh yeah,
I mean, what if we just rolled on the wrong side of the bed? It happens to everybody. I'd probably be throwing things too, just for one day. Don't immediately assume.
oh,
just 'cause-
absolutely.
The only thing we do is take note of it.
Yeah, because he's just having a bad day. Now, if it was having a bad month, then something's going on.
Oh, absolutely,
Like
exactly
that?
that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, so in this,
Then how about if he do it the next day?
yeah, then make a note
Maybe,
of that.
yeah,
But of course, you could always immediately notify the BCBA.
But
Just
BCBA will
because-
not be around.
Yeah.
Oh, you contact them.
Yeah. Well, you can email them.
Email,
You can
call.
call because essentially this is urgent. If somebody goes from not engaging in property destruction to all of a sudden throwing things across the room, the behavior person should know about that. So I think that's fair to say. Yeah, whether or not they're there at that given moment, it doesn't have to be told in person. It could be emailed, it could be over the text or
Report as soon as possible.
yeah.
And this is time the BCBA will
So
respond.
here, most important things to note, guys, is that they immediately notified the BCBA and created her observations to share with them. And it's not wrong for them to propose a plan themselves. Yeah, so again, I know there's a little less space to not write everything in, but the most important thing to include is notifying immediately and sharing observations.
Good shared observation.
Yeah, and then you could say something along the lines of, oh, okay, I think it's escape maintained behavior. Whenever you're ready, more than willing to perform the functional assessments. And then here's the ABC data I collected throughout these past few days that you weren't here. How about we go over and review it, so then we can move forward through the process. That, I think, is an incredibly effective way to addressing this ethical concern. Yeah, because you guys are right. If it happened just one time, that's still noteworthy. Still something we want to monitor. But if it's happening consistently throughout the next couple of days, then it's a real issue that we want to address. Okay, and then have one more case study for you guys. Wait for
Wait a minute. You can see.
yeah, the more of these things, guys, is that yeah, we're all on the same page. We all are able to share our concerns and yeah, present them in a way where we're able to collaborate. Okay. Last case study. Okay, so we have David, an RBT, working with Brian, a 34-year-old client who stops walking and sits on the floor during community outings. Oh boy. Brian approves behavior plan states that when he sits on the floor, staff should offer a low demand prompt hierarchy and then provide specific verbal praise once he stands up. So this will pretty much start with yes.
Listen,
I didn't have any specific clients in mind.
Mr. Armando, be responsible for this case study.
Yes, case study. Funny enough, I had another client in mind, but we can go with that one. So yeah, that's the protocol.
Staff should load them in from hierarchy and
Yeah.
specific level first once he stand up and the should walking.
Yes. So probably providing just an indirect verbal prompt. Oh, where do we need to go? To providing the full verbal instruction. Oh, please sit up and stand and let's walk. David finds this protocol slow and frustrating because of how busy community outings can be. Remembering that a token economy system he used previously with a child at an in-home agency, David then decided to implement his own. So then he creates a visual token board with Velcro stars and tells Brian, every block you walk without sitting down, you'll get a star. 5 stars equals a soda from the convenience store. David buys sodas with his own money, and the behavior drops significantly. And David considers it a massive success. Okay, so we have a lot going on. So Brian's not, or David is not really using the plan with Brian when he does the sitting down behavior during the community outings. So then he uses a token economy and rewards him with soda. So why is this outside the RBT scope of practice?
Because awarding soda is not included in the BIP.
Yeah, did you guys hear that? Soda, rewarding soda as a reinforcer is not part of the BIP. If it's not in there, It's one of the examples of the common reinforcer for
So
the
don't give
clients.
any.
Yes, the soda. Because I'm sure you guys, I mean, I've been there. Soda as a reinforcer does a lot more bad than good. Yeah, you guys can probably think of the exact clients who have received soda as a reward, but then it ended up backfiring on us. Yeah, so soda, unauthorized reinforcer.
But can the DSP can cheat once in a while? So, there are cases that just like one time over here, there's
Sure.
another client, right? Banging his head in the wall,
Mhm.
right? And the drivers and the rider cannot just come stop him banging the head.
Sure.
So what we did, so that's what I said. We just give the food and he stopped, and she stopped.
Yes.
So that is okay. We cheat.
It will very depend. So it depends if the protocol in there specifically addresses head banging, because something that would probably happen, really, if that were to persist, is then they learn, oh, if I want to get food, if I want to get soda, I just have to bang my head.
No, the bangs are not only one time or 3 times. She bangs the head 10 times, more than 10 times.
Yeah. Yeah. So then if that gets reinforced, they'll say it to themselves.
As I said,
oh,
sometimes we cheat. Because you see now, banging the head in the wall 10 times, 20 times.
mhm.
So what our people did? Oh, come now, take this. What's it called? That pizza.
The pizza. Okay.
Oh, you like pizza? Yes, I like pizza. Then she stopped,
Uh-huh.
and then again banging the head again.
Yes.
So they offered again soda.
Uh-huh.
The soda will be come here. Soda is there.
See how smart she is.
Yeah.
There's no, it's not complete, so she
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
man.
when she seen the soda, right? The soda's inside the van, just like that.
Yeah.
And
And
she went.
yeah.
And she went inside, and then we closed the door and finished.
Uh-huh.
And let that driver and the rider will be responsible.
Yeah, well, you see, there was a change in the procedure. It wasn't just only giving it to her for stopping, but it's her cooperating going inside the van that was reinforced. And I think as long as we do that, we reinforce the desired behavior. The desired behavior ultimately shouldn't be for her to stop banging, but for her to cooperate and go inside
Correct.
the
Yeah.
van.
So sometimes you can
Yes.
check. Even though it's not in the VIP.
Sometimes a reinforcer can be strong enough to get somebody to cooperate. Yes.
Because sometimes we should be flexible.
Yes, exactly that.
If not,
Absolutely.
if we go with the VIP, as mentioned, the VIP, if we don't go outside of that one, maybe it will not stop.
Yeah, I completely understand that. Yeah, so it is important to have what I would say sound clinical judgment. In this case, using a strong enough reinforcer, because again, there could be some motivating operations placed. Perhaps she's a little bit more tired that day, so the typical reinforcers aren't as effective or as strong. And something that is more novel, let's say the pizza or the soda, could be strong enough to get her to cooperate.
Correct.
And then the following day, she's back to her baseline, and then the normal reinforcers could suffice to work. Yeah, so there is a level of
So
flexibility.
We could be flexible then.
Yes,
Once
we
in a
can be
while.
flexible to a certain degree.
not every day, once in a while.
Once in a while, yes. Yeah, because sometimes we are thrown in these more novel situations where the typical every day in, day out routines may not be enough to get the desired behavior. Yeah, so I'm agree with you. Sometimes we have to be a little bit more flexible. Yes,
Yeah,
but
there's a
more
lot
often
of-
than not, we want to follow the protocol, proper protocol.
So when you sudden always that when you say the soda will stop. We got a
Yeah,
question like
but-
that before.
But when it comes to the soda, really, and I'm sure you're willing to agree, sometimes it brings a lot more harm than good.
Si Ryan na
Yeah. Ryan, Justin,
There it
yeah.
is.
But gradually.
Mhm. Yes. So you guys know, sometimes, yeah, the soda should just not be in the question.
Councilman Manu Willis' question about that situation,
Yes.
where the lady banged her head
Yeah.
on the wall.
Mhm.
And he was there. It was really intense.
Mhm.
So the question there is, would you wait for her to bang more and then you'll be calling 911 because you'll be.
No, absolutely not. No, 'cause that is what we're.
His emphasis was he was really intent of banging her head
I see that. Yeah.
to the point where it's going to be like going to blood from her
Uh-huh.
forehead.
Yeah. So that time, that is a crisis situation. So we got to do whatever we can to assure her safety.
Okay.
In those instances, afterwards, we want to review what went on. If there were some precursors, some things that led up to that escalation, because it sounds like it's not an everyday situation.
It's not.
Yeah. So if it's not,
Sometimes
then we can reflect. Yeah, and then only address her safety in those situations, because a normal, typical problem behavior for a client that's at their baseline is going to be much different than if it's a crisis. Yes. So in those circumstances, can I have to be flexible?
So if you know the character of the person,
Yeah.
when on that situation I saw it, it should be asking for chips, and then he said no chips.
Mhm.
So started to get his.
Sure.
Yeah. So you buy a red and it will escalate into that
Uh-huh.
crisis situation.
Uh-huh.
That's what happened to that lady.
I see.
So we just have manually went there, Galbi and I and everybody, because we were looking into a level.
Yeah.
We're still going to escalate it and bang her head and crack her head.
Mhm.
I don't care what. In that case, on our side, we were looking at, are we going to call 911? Bang her head.
Yeah. And if that question comes up, then again, the most important thing is your safety. That is what you should prioritize. Because we can always later on when she de-escalates, then we can try to teach her, do demand fading, offer delay tolerance, and all these things, all the good things that we talked about. But those moments, yeah, safety comes first. Yes. So the call for flexibility on our part in those crisis situations is warranted.
Yeah, I think that's the word, flexibility.
Yes. Yeah, because I'm constantly telling you guys about how important it is for the clients to be flexible, how important it is for us to be flexible. Yeah, everybody has to be flexible.
But if you do that to Kiara one time, it's a different story.
Yeah, it's a different story with Kiara because we know her baseline,
Yeah.
so we don't want to be able to address that in her baseline. Again, it can kind of case by case basis. If we know that it's completely abnormal, we're in crisis situation, that is when we should, address things in a much more impactful method. And I'm hoping too, with some of the revisions for those crisis situations, that I can include that in there to address those concerns. No, but yeah, great questions. But this case study stirred up a meaningful discussion. Yeah, but another thing too to highlight with this scenario, because David is using this reinforcement strategy just with himself, only he's implementing the token board. When the other staff are working with Brian, all of a sudden the behavior is going to get much worse because he's the one giving him the soda, the tokens, and they don't. They're following the plan. So they're not handing out the SARS or the soda. So we're going to see that extinction burst where the rates of the behavior is going to increase. They're going to see a lot more sitting on the ground. So that's another reason why it is not ethical. Yeah. What could you have done differently then? Yeah.
Not always Joe will answer.
Yeah, what do you guys think? So the current, just to recap, the current strategy in place, it's effective, but it's a little slow. So that's why our friend changed it. So instead of implementing a token board where the client earns soda, what could he have done? Am I gonna have to call on a victim? That's what's gonna happen. Want to have your approval to call on somebody? Or you can call somebody too if you want to, if you think it's fun.
I don't know.
You want to do the honors?
You.
Oh, me? I do the honor. Okay.
Big people that start with first letter with a D.
Please.
With D?
What is D?
Yeah.
The alphabet.
I don't know what is D. What's the meaning of D?
And you want me to go in alphabetical too?
No, it start with
So
D.
D and then, but then alphabetical, so it'd be A.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
DA. Anyone start with DA?
We don't know. Don't use acronym. You should be specific in what you say so that we can understand.
I'm just being general.
All right, Danny, I'm sorry. You're the sacrificial
Oh,
lamb.
that's who it was.
DANNI?
Is that how you spell it?
I want to work at the program.
Oh no. All right, Danny, what could they have done differently?
Yeah, answer, because you don't know.
Well, don't worry, you won't be the only one at this rate.
Can I call up?
No, you got this. You got this.
Can call a friend. Call a friend.
Call a friend.
Is that well?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so the problem here is that he designed and implemented a new plan without approval. Not approved. That he could have done differently.
Yeah, dude. Look, okay, look, the RBT got to protect himself or herself because if she does something, makes changes, that person get in trouble. So what should she have done to protect herself?
Very good. Yeah, I'll take that. No, that's a great answer. Yeah.
There you go.
Recorded, yes. And also just follow the prompt rule, and then if the RBT wanted to present something, they could have documented the latency, how long it takes for the clients to get up, and then be able to report that. Yeah, thank you, Danny. I appreciate it.
Hindi?
Yeah, you can record the duration and then again the latency for how long it'll take them to get up. Because if we're working with an inefficient protocol, then I think it would not just be beneficial to the client, but to the staff too. Because again, I'm in the community and I gotta go for a better procedure. At least have the understanding to come up with something different. Yeah, so the RBT can come to the supervisor and say something along like, "Oh, okay, I'm noticing the verbal praise procedures that we have right now. It's actually resulting with a lot of time on the client on the ground. So how about we implement a token board? I'm just proposing because it's something that worked in the past with the previous clients I had who did a similar behavior. Is this something that we could consider?" And of course, it could be something they can take a look, perhaps using a proper reinforcer that's not soda.
So,
Yeah, it's just an example of something they could say. Oh, I noticed the procedure that we have isn't working or isn't effective. I used a token board in my previous company. Maybe we could try something like that.
so yeah, make a suggestion.
Yeah,
then
make a suggestion, yes.
For a new plan.
Yeah, for a new plan, because the current plan is too slow. The current plan is too slow.
So
So let's make a suggestion to change. Who's the, yeah. So the important thing for him to do is, yeah, follow the prompt, follow the procedure, and then make a suggestion for something different. Something that could work to be better for the clients. Yeah, thank you guys for your cooperation in case
Okay.
studies.
After that, talk with the supervisor,
Yes. Talk and then make the suggestion.
make the suggestion.
Okay.
So to collect the data,
Yeah.
the frequency and intensity.
That's the things of concern. Again, if we want to say, oh, he's still sitting on the ground for way too long, or it's taking him way too long to get up, that is something we could make note of. Okay, professional expectations is another part of the ethics curriculum. So part of being a professional, again, we established we're all professionals, so we all have to work with one another. It's not merely how we serve the client that is of concern, but how we speak, how we react and respond, and how we see or view the client. And again, these are things that we discuss at length when it comes to recognizing client dignity, showing them compassion, understanding, seeing them as another fellow human. We have speak, react, and view individuals we support. So with that being said, there are 3 pillars that we want to take a look at when it comes to recognizing this interpersonal conduct. Respecting the adult dignity of the client, behavioral, objective descriptions, and then cultural responsiveness. Things we touched on, so this will be more or less reviewed. So as we talked about, I think on Monday, regardless of where the client is at in the developmental level, you got to show them respect. You got to talk to them as we do anybody else. And this is something that I've been trying to work on myself, just because of how convenient it is to kind of get an update on the client as they're there. I see them, I'm reminded, oh, to ask one of you, how are they doing? How has this been since we implemented that procedure or goal? The client's right there. So why don't I try to speak to them, asking them how they're doing? Because ultimately, we acknowledge that they can understand a lot more than what they let on. Most of them who cannot speak or have the ability to verbalize or vocalize what is on their minds still possess the understanding of what it is we're saying around them. I mean, it would just be so strange if I'm talking to June here about Jonathan, and just saying all sorts of things about him, whether good or bad, and he's just standing right there. That would just be very weird. Yeah, so for some examples of this, what we don't want to do is, let's say you have a 42-year-old client who spills food on a shirt. You don't want to just loudly announce, uh-oh, looks like somebody made a big mess. All right, well, let's go clean your shirt. Let's go get some clean clothes. Nobody wants that. Said, and I've seen you guys do this too. So go, hey, Michael, I see that your shirt is dirty, spilled. How about we go get changed? Let's go to the restroom to freshen up. See, the contrast in that interaction, one is kind of bombastic and a little embarrassing. The other shows compassion and understanding. Another thing too is imagine, try to do hand over hand work with the client while you're talking to somebody across the room about what your weekend plans are. That come across very rude, and ultimately you're not present there with the client. So what can we do instead? Instead, actively engage with the client, regardless of the task, and then offer specific praise. Oh, I really like how straight you made that line. And then, yeah, maintain that professional focus, because at the end of the day, they know when we're present, they know when we're active, when we're engaged, and if we don't show them that respect, then yeah, we kind of lose out a lot on that rapport and that respect that they can have for us. Objective, measurable, avoiding subjective language. Yeah, at the end of the day, this is just so then we're all able to stay on the same page. When it comes to, again, there's no problem with reporting the client appeared happy or it looks as though they were having a bad day for X and X reason. But those things are difficult to measure, difficult to track. So we want to be able to provide the reasons as to why maybe they were having a rough day. Oh, we got reported from the care home that they didn't get enough sleep night. They only slept for 5 hours, let's say. So we want to be able to describe that. And we've seen some of these examples. John was in terrible mood, was being mean because he was angry. Okay. That is very hard to work with in terms of being able to address that behaviorally. But what if we say, oh, he engaged in 3 instances of vocal shouting and then 2 instances of pushing peers. Okay, now we have something we can work with. Now, when we introduce something, we can see whether or not these 2 numbers either go up or they go down. Culture responsiveness, spoke at length on this on Monday. Got to be flexible when addressing differences in culture, whether or not be how a culture relates to eye contact, dietary restrictions, personal space. Personal space is an interesting one because there are clients that's something we're trying to work with for them. This is something that one of my professors did. I need a victim volunteer. Let's see. Gavin, get up here. Yeah. This is just an example. Yes, please come. Okay. So whenever, I'm sorry, I'm going to cover the TV screen. So let's say I want to have a conversation with our friend here, and we're having it from this distance. Would you guys say that this is an appropriate distance to have a conversation?
No.
No. Well, should I go farther or should I get closer? Okay, so I'll take a step forward. Oh, and actually, so then we were saying, okay, can you take a step? Okay, should we have a conversation now? Is this appropriate? No? One more? Yes. How about here? Is this an appropriate?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is appropriate. This is good. Not too far. But what happens if I get closer? Is this appropriate?
Okay.
What about here? What about here?
Like
How you doing?
when
What if I here? Yeah. So the taking thing. Yeah. So that's just to give an example of things that have culture variance, because for some cultures, I know for Hispanic cultures, it's perfectly fine to have a conversation from all the way over there to wherever here. And then maybe I'm not familiar with those cultures where it's really appropriate to have them sat close together.
So
Yes,
that also depends on the faculties involved in the person.
sure.
If the other one cannot hear well,
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
and also the vision involved, so maybe
Again, between clients or client to DSP.
Yeah. Well, both. I mean, there are clients who are hard of hearing, and there are going to be our coworkers who may also be hard of hearing, so we may have to get a little closer and maybe speak a little bit louder
So it
to
applies
accommodate.
to both,
Yes, applies to
DSP
both.
to DSP and DSP to client.
Yes.
And how about client to client?
Same thing, yeah. I don't see why it would be anything different.
Yeah, we asked them to have
Just like,
space, yeah. Patricia and
no, who's that lady?
Frank.
Yes,
Yes.
she is.
Jessica.
I don't know what it. Okay, so today I don't know what it was with her, but she was completely fine just staying at this level, and then she just looked at me, smiled, laughed, and then walked away. I was like, "Is this the same Jessica as last week? What is going on here?" But it was nice. It was nice to see that.
Just like Mike. Mike also goes near to you.
Oh yes, yes,
You might be.
yeah. So there's some space. Yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay, let's. Okay, so we're running short on time, guys. Let's,
Kiara.
Time's up.
yeah, almost. I still got 9 minutes. I'm holding you guys hostage. So okay. So I'm here to really give you guys my full support. So in that sense, you guys also have the ability to advocate for the level of support you need from me. And supervision, and I know this as someone who's going through supervision myself, it's not this passive, receptive process. No, it's something that is dynamic. It's something that is collaborative, cooperative. So yeah, it's not simply passive, but collaborative. It's something that you do together. It's something that you do to assure there's progress being made, not just for the clients, but for yourself too. Okay. Passive and collaborative are words here. So, in a real sense, I kind of owe it to you guys to be able to, kind of provide these clear expectations. Now, something that I may do after we're done with all this RBT stuff is these ongoing fidelity checks, where you may just see me standing in the back of the wall like a fly, collecting data, and then kind of comparing the data that I get with the ones you may get. Just so then we can, again, be on the same page about everything. We all understand what we mean with each other. Behavior skills training, this is one of the most effective teaching methods. So one of the ones that we didn't go over, because it's more so for supervision. Behavior skills training is essentially you providing the rationale for a behavior or topic or a skill that you want to teach. You then model it, so demonstrating it to the individual. You then have them rehearse it in practice and then provide feedback on their performance. Now, this is not just something that you could do with work skills, but this is actually something I use who are learning, let's say, social skills, perspective taking, to be able to get feedback on the behavior that we're working on. Demonstrating empathy, helping behaviors, all these kind of things can be easily done with BST. And on that note, we'll provide feedback. That is something that I've also been trying to work on a lot better at. I really want to highlight when you guys do something great. And because, I mean, it's just encouraging for me, and I'm sure it's equally as encouraging for you to be able to recognize, oh yeah, that was great. That is something that we want to be able to see more of. Yeah, and it should be acknowledged. Now I'm kind of running the gun here. Yeah, so if you notice, again, hold me accountable, guys. If you think I'm just being a wheezy rascal, call me out. Because in a real sense, you do have this obligation to, utilize the fullest degree of what services that we can provide. Yeah, so something that I'm trying to work at, just not just with myself, but with my own supervisors, ensuring that feedback is specific, that it's not vague. Again, when we just tell a client, good job, as a blanket statement, they don't know exactly whether they did a good job or not. So we're able to provide that to be specific, then we can really allow for that behavior to be reinforced. Okay. Yeah, if something is confusing in the BIP, If you need help with clarity, ask you how to track a particular behavior, please ask. I'm gonna do what I can to ensure that you do know how to do it. But if not, please don't hesitate to ask. I'll be here. I'll be here to reassure you as to what needs to be done, how to do it. But yeah, new and complex behavior reduction plans should be properly reviewed. Yeah. Yes, and this is the last thing. Seeking out professional development. Again, as professionals, and I think for ESPs, you guys do have CEUs you have to get. But it's the exact same thing with RBTs. Now, when it comes to my specific, I guess you could say specializations or areas of interest, as you guys know, I'm really big into acceptance commitment therapy and verbal behavior. So if you guys also find that stuff interesting, or is there anything else within the space of behavior analysis that you would like resources on, please tell me. I'll be more than happy to share that with you. All right, summary. Implement the plans, collect data, or use objective language. Yes, like all the RBT scope of practice, you now recognize what those are. Speak to the client with respect, show them dignity. Again, meet them where they're at. They're folks just like you and me. I don't know about you guys, but I learn as much from the clients as they learn from me. So implement, speak, then ask for specific feedback. Ensure that you're getting the full support that you need. And yeah, if you need something to be modeled or clarified, do not hesitate to ask for a single second. All right, we have a few minutes for these. Actually, you know what? I'll save the questions for next time. Yes, well, we'll go over the questions next time. And yeah, we'll, like I said, next two last sessions, it'll be highlights of most important things for us to recognize. I think the biggest things I want you guys to take away from this RBT training. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Or yeah, have a great weekend. Not the rest of it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.